No matter how long you've been using Excel, it seems like there's always something that you don't know the answer to. And fortunately, Excel comes with a pretty good tool to help us find those answers. Right here we have the Microsoft Excel Help button. You can click this or just hit F1 on your keyboard to open the Excel Help window. Now I find that the easiest way to discover new answers is just to type what I'm looking for in this top box here. Let's say that I want to know how to minimize the ribbon. I can just type in ribbon, hit enter, and hope for the best. Well, sure enough, right there on the top, minimize the ribbon. Now I'm going to click on that. Let's see what comes up. Here's a description of what that means. We have pictures. And then finally, what do I want to do? Well, let's say that I want to keep the ribbon minimized for a short time. Well, click on that, and now I find step-by-step instructions on how to do that. And here you can see just what we learned in the previous lesson. We can click the little button here, minimize the ribbon, to accomplish exactly what we want to do. Back in the Stone Ages, whenever software shipped with big old manuals in the boxes, people would be able to find answers by opening the book and looking through it. And some of us computer geeks actually would sit there and read a manual from start to finish. Well, the days of getting those big old books bundled with your software are gone. Now the software publishers just put the manual right on your hard drive when you install the software. Now, how do you get to the book? Well, if you look in the toolbar here, you'll see this Table of Contents button. Clicking this is going to display the help system just like a table of contents. Each one of the little folders that you see on the left-hand side will open additional options when you click on it. For example, if you wanted to work with charts, you could click on the Charts link, and this expands, and then we have Creating Charts, which will expand again. And then each one of these little blue links here is going to take you to actual information. For example, available chart types. And over on the right-hand side now, we have that subject displayed with all its detail. So if you had a rainy day and a lot of time, you could probably start right at the beginning and go down through each one of these things and just read this like a manual. But man, who has time for that? You can close this table of contents by just clicking the Close button. To the right of the Table of Contents button is the Keep on Top button. This keeps the Help window on top of the Excel application interface. Watch what happens when I click back on the Excel worksheet. The Excel Help system stays right in the front. Now I'm going to restore down the application window for Excel so you can see part of my desktop in the background. And you can see that the Excel Help window is just sitting right on top of the Excel window. Now when I go up to this pin and click on it, it changes now to not on top. Now when I reach back and click on the Excel interface, the help system goes to the back. There it is, right back there. You can always pin it to the front again just by bringing it to the front and clicking the button. The Change Font Size button allows you to change the font size inside the Excel Help window. Clicking it allows you to choose from largest, larger, smaller, smallest, and so forth. So if you want it as big as it can get, there it is. We'll just get down to medium again. The Home button quickly takes you back to the page you saw when you first opened the Excel Help window. The Refresh button simply calls back out to Microsoft.com and says, hey, send that page back to me again. That page being the page that you see right here. If you've typed something in the search box and it seems to be taking a long time for your search results to come back, you might want to just click the Stop button to stop the search. The back and forward buttons work like the buttons on a web browser to take you to the previous page you were visiting, and if you want to come back to this page again, then you would just click forward. There are a couple of other options here. If you come down here and look underneath the search for help, you have more on Office.com. If you click the Downloads link, this takes you to Office.Microsoft.com, where you can download all kinds of stuff for free. Here you'll find tools that can be downloaded to extend the features of your Office products. If you go to the Images link, this also brings you to Office.Microsoft.com, where now you can search for photos, clip art, and all kinds of images that you might want to use in your Office documents. In both cases, you'll notice that you've left the Help window and you're now browsing the Internet on Windows Internet Explorer. There's also a link for templates, which also takes you out to Office.Microsoft.com, where you'll find all kinds of templates for Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and Access. These three links assume that you have an active Internet connection. And that brings me to this subject. There's actually two versions of the help system. There's the one that was installed on your hard drive the day you installed Excel on your computer. And then there's the version that gets fed to your computer from Microsoft's website. Which one you use is all dependent on how you have it set in the bottom right-hand corner. Right now we're connected to Office.com. If you click the button, you can say Show Content Only from this computer, and now whenever you do a search or choose one of these links, you'll be going onto your hard drive to find the answers for your questions. Let's go back to Show Content from Office.com. Now everything you do is going to be fed to your computer from out there in the cloud someplace. Well, why in the world would there be two different help systems? Well, for one thing, as hard as it is to believe, not everybody has an internet connection. And some people still have internet connections that are so slow that it makes searching for things sort of hard to do. In that case, it's a lot easier just to use the offline version of the help system. And there are advantages and disadvantages to each way of doing things. For example, if you're working online, you're working with the most recent, up-to-date version of the help system that you can find, because Microsoft is always tweaking this and adding things and helping to make it more usable. Whereas the version that you have installed on your hard drive is static. It never changes. It's there, it's never going to change, and that's pretty much the way it's going to be. Now, the exception to that might be that when you do an update for Microsoft Office, new help files might be brought down as part of the update. But how often does that happen? The online help system gives you extra resources that aren't available in the offline system. When you work with the online help system, you'll find that the environment is a richer environment. What I mean by that is for any given search, you might not only just get links on how to do something, but you might also find a link to a PowerPoint presentation that proves the point. Or you might have a link to a video. You won't typically find that kind of help on your hard drive. But you know what? Most of the time, I really prefer to use the offline mode. Let me give you an example of why. Now, we're connected right now to Office.com, and I'm just going to hit Enter to reestablish that search. And let's take a look at what we get. We have an article. Scroll on down here. Now we have something called Teach Ribbon from the Classic Menus and Toolbar, and this is something that was provided by somebody outside of Microsoft. Then we have a video. And then we have a link that actually takes you someplace else. It takes you to the Office blog. So there's lots of different choices here. But whenever we do the same search offline, now you can see that the results are much more streamlined. And we don't have all the videos and the blogs and all that kind of stuff. These are just articles that are living on your hard drive at this point. And for my money, I find it a lot easier to find stuff this way rather than having to wade through all kinds of extra stuff. This gets me right to the point. So it's a matter of personal preference. Online, offline, tomato, whatever you want to do. It's all up to you, but there you have it. Those are the options.